Now, my people, it's time, it's time, it's time, it's time. It's time for us to change our way of thinking. We cannot sit down and let people dictate for us. How can we call ourselves human beings when we are being caught up into a cage where we are not free and we can't think for our own self? We're being controlled by politicians or politricksters. Now, slavery system that still exists in the form of government are the very nature of the beginning of slavery itself, which is usually known as national denization, where they force to nationalize you. But when these slave masters capture you on your land, they will take away your land and your resources. And in order to create a jurisdiction for their ownership, they will have to create what they call a corporation, which is known today as a government. Now, the notion about slavery abolished, never did abolish, and it's still not abolished. Okay? So, people who call themselves citizens are proudly go around, say they are patriotic of whatever state they want to be patriotic of. They're just being a fool of themselves. Now, I'm doing this video here because I'm from this island Uromi and I'm an indigenous descendant. I'm being currently fight down here for my own rights by the system. And it designed laws that is designed to keep the common people unaware of what the truth is. I know it already, so I try to share and enlighten people. But many listeners, they just go through days and come together. They never take heed. They never try to acknowledge what I'm talking about and how sensible it is. Why would you want to be living and having someone dictating your life for you, telling you what you must do, how you must live, how your money ought to be spent, and when and how you should move and what to be done? No, life should not be done like that. You shouldn't have a politician dictating your life for you. First of all, you're known as bonds and stock as long as you're a citizen, because you're an artificial person. Look at it in the 14th Amendment. Second of all, you might say I'm talking a lot and I'm saying one thing over, but I have to do it in other words to get it to your ears. They kill Malcolm X, they kill Marcus Garvey, they kill Martin Luther King, yet the message still never die. I still come to take what they left off and send the message over for the people to realize, yo, the only reason why these corporations exist, which is called government today, is because of slavery. And they use many different tactics to keep your mind distracted and you from not knowing who you are and where you're coming from. And the only how that you can be free is by knowing your past. And by knowing your past, will you be able to go in a present, brightful future? Because your past is your future. Now, people, when you say you're free and you're known as a citizen, you cannot be free because you're subject to the corporate laws that design of the so-called country. And the state, which is known as the city or the government system, which is just called today as a society. These are the systems that derive from slavery. And for them to establish this system, they had to capture your land, slaughter the hierarchy, and control the lower lesser people. When we say lower lesser, we don't mean lesser in life or standard, we mean lesser within the power of how they had living within the system. They were just the common people. You have the warriors and then you have the normal people. So they take over the warriors, slaughters the warrior, committed genocide, and then control the remaining population. And what they had to do is denationalize you, take away your identity and give you one that they made up, which is called a state of government today, which is an illegal process. But no matter how I speak out for my rights, speak for the people them to understand, they just don't get it. And they don't know how nice it would be if you're completely free, which is an indigenous descendant. Okay? Like, I'm indigenous. I've done all I needed to do to be completely free. But I'm still being disrespected here by the system, especially by a crooked magistrate called Bochum Pompey, who has no respect for human life and no regard for no other one, more than himself. He acts like he's God. And I don't care about the cyber crime that they put up because I'm not saying anything negative. I'm only talking the truth about this negative, you know what I mean, person who's known as a magistrate called Bochum Pompey. He's done some negative things to me, and he's still fighting his way, thinking he can get away by trying to denationalize me, even though I'm completely free, and force me to accept a name that is of a corporate person so that he could try to pin a charge on me, which is an illegal process. He and the police officers of this state called St. Vincent and the Grenadines are trying some very illegal process. And I'm by myself fighting against this injustice and this scene that is going on. And the people are listening to my voice and knowing that I'm only carrying on the same fight that Malcolm X, Marcus Garvey, and Martin Luther King all fight for, a dream to be completely free and to be free from corporate control, which is the same slave system that derived from the beginning of slavery. And this island is only 299 years slavery, still exists. I'm talking about from the time it started till today, so it still exists. So slavery has not been abolished. Only time slavery can be abolished is when you are free as a natural human being, which means you take back your true identity. And to be free, you have to take back your true identity, where your ancestors coming from, take back your indigenous name, get back your land and your resources. Only then can you be completely free. If you're carrying a name that is made up from a corporation that is not your rightful name, which means you're out of your proper person, you're not free. Like I said, and I will say it again, a citizen is classified as an artificial person, void of all human rights, void of all civil liberties, known as an imminent object, classifies as bond and stock. Your trade and the stock market as collateral for the benefit of the politicians' pocket, but they use this notion about developing or restructuring the economy. So that's why they go to borrow money. It's just bogus. It's just bogus. It's just bogus. So I have to state these cause for enlightenment of my people. Whether they want to acknowledge it or not, there are going to be A's out there, and there are going to be a few people who are going to realize that I'm talking the truth and accept it. And whether you want to join with me for the fight on this island Uromi to eradicate the slave system that is trying to keep us down. And I know the right way to go and get your freedom back, like I did it in the right procedure. And I'm certified indigenous, but this crooked system with its crooked magistrate called Bochum Pompey and its police officers refusing to acknowledge and accept the truth that is in front of them. But you got to remember, everyone has the mind to think for themselves. Everyone has the right to choose their own destiny. And even in your law, you cannot confine someone and force them to do something that they do not want to do against their will. It is called kidnap, extortion, human trafficking, peonage, treason, misimprisonment. All these are facts that are in the law book, that if one who's caught doing these things and have to be held accountable for the action are accountable of human trafficking. And currently I see the magistrate Bochum Pompey are doing it very regular to ordinary people who's on the corporation and to even indigenous descendants like me, and have done to others too. I'm one who to speak out, and a young lady who he has put in a psychiatric institution for defending her rights, she has been speaked out to. She's not an indigenous, she's a corporate Vincentian, but based on her rights, she's been violated too as a natural human being. The procedures that's been taking place is illegal. No one should have the right to look at someone and just judge them. You're not the creator. You can't just judge people. You don't make life. And people must remember, what goes around comes around. And when you hand out, always come back to you. So do so never like so. So I want them to look down and sleep and think back all the wickedness he done to people. If you don't know, the tribulation coming down 10 times worse upon him. When it come, he will wish he was never born for the wickedness he doing to people. I have to send this message to social media, to YouTube, and to the rest of the world for them to understand. We not only need help here with the system that they're running here, but we need help to free the indigenous people from persecution and violation that is going on here. I'm currently trying to get people to join with me because united we stand and divided we fall. What these corporated systems do when they started slavery, they use many different strategies. You know, not only did they denationalize you, but they indoctrinate you with religion and politics, you know, and various different strategies. They use the media, they use the news to spread propaganda and help indoctrinate people. You know, they use the professors of the law, they use the prosecutors, the magistrate, the judge, and the police to enforce slavery upon the common people, which they call masses. And they use the so-called law and order, which they call corporate laws for the corporate system, constitutional laws, to enforce slavery upon the common people. And they use the sports and the school system, everything, to keep the people divided. If the people unite, the system stand no chance. But because the people are divided, because divided they fall, but united they stand. So if you have the people them understanding the possibility of being free and having no one dictating your life for you and paying no tax for something that you're not being paid back for, it's an illegal process taking place from the slavery system till now. It will make a better for your life, because if you know you could own a vehicle or you don't have to pay land tax or house tax for the rest of your life, you know how nice you would feel. All that money could go towards your children, upliftment, and you could save so much more money. Look at the poor people. The poor people suffer the most. The middle class and the rich class are not feeling the pressure like the poor people. And politicians sit down in the budget and counting how much billions or millions of dollars they're collecting. And this is the blood of the people that they're collecting in the form of money. But the people can't even make their own choices and do what they seem to do. I said if a system like this is to exist, the people must know how they stand and what the system all about and make decision whether they want to be a part of it. And they must be the one to count their money, which is the taxpayers' money. And it must be shared up equally between everybody, and everybody will freely contribute to whatever needed to be done in the country. If they say the road to be fixed, the healthcare system, it should be freely done. And it would be. Don't make these decisions for people. People can make their own decision for themselves. And in the past, before slavery, our ancestors worked hand in hand. There were no